Why is it still?
Speak up.
I've turned the TV on. Is that better?
I think so.
There we go. Drew, can you hear us?
Can you hear me, Drew?
Yes, loud and clear.
Excellent. Just in time. In coffee.
Did you just arrive?
Yeah. Well, I went home and I changed my jumper because I was sweating. And then, yeah, and I did another one. So it's a 14-month round trip today.
Jesus.
I know.
Right. Well, just starting to look at.
I don't need. No, I don't need it anymore. It's a day pass.
Okay, it's time to start now.
Just going to start looking at training machines. So we'll break you in with the assignment breakdown, which have become a bit of a custom. So as you know, 2 themes for the project have been decided upon, and you'll be split into 2 groups. One group of 7 and one group of 3. No one wins the bet now, do they?
We'll have to go by the closest. Yeah.
So obviously 2 groups of 5, which we'll come to shortly. But we will. I'm emphasizing this at the start and in the middle and at the end. This is the last project that you're making before your dissertation. Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
This is
Basically,
the big one.
Basically got 6-8 weeks left of teaching with Easter break in the middle. Yeah, so this one really counts, especially for your portfolio. We're really fortunate on this one to have some client-based work within the department. So you'll be dealing with, well, you'll be going through that process of dealing with the client, meeting their expectations, seeing how they change over time, which I can guarantee will happen. That's a real world thing. So you really need to be on top of your game from day one all the way through to the end, and even beyond potentially, because I think Ping mentioned, were you here when Ping was talking? I can't remember now if that was just us. I think we said to you that she's got ideas on it moving forward. So you impress your clients, then you might get picked up for paid work. So it's really important that you really give your all on this, both for your your education, your portfolio, and for moving forward as well. So the other one was being a chemical engineer, the other project that we're going to be doing. So I've included the original proposal document from Enrico. He's the head of chemical engineering. I've copied his brief in here. So it's really super vague. We have had more discussion with him since, but I'll just read what his initial brief was. An application to provide an immersive experience to show what it means feel to be a chemical engineer, help to engage young people in fascinating them with impactful aspects of the discipline. Specific content will yet be established, etc., etc. So we have spoken with him last Thursday, and we sort of pinned him down. What he's doing is he's working not only within this uni as head of chemical engineering, but they've got a research project with a couple of other universities as well to try and improve engagement in chemical engineering in general, to bring in more students basically. So their little project is mainly sort of web-based stuff, but he's super keen on getting a VR app. And what we've sort of narrowed it down to is reproducing a chemical experiment in a lab, following all safety guidelines, to sort of use for open days at the uni, that they could grab a few headsets and they can have down for open day, or, you know, on the first day of the term for chemical engineering, they can just have the headsets or use it for outreach projects. So he's really keen on that. We get to hear exactly which experiment he wants to do, but that's kind of what he's wanting. So hopefully we'll be speaking with them again this week, get a bit more detail on that. But really good opportunity, because their ongoing project is funded, and again, this is something that goes on for years as they're trying to increase student numbers. So I think that's a really cool project, actually. Obviously, Project Shark we spoke about last week, so I won't read through all of the information because we read that last week.
Is that Shark in Welsh, is it?
Yeah.
And,
I think
it stands for something, was it? Project Sharks Inspiring Action and Research within communities. But it also might be Shark in Welsh. It could be, I don't know. But that's what they've made it into as an anagram anyway. So their idea, I think we discussed anyway, was to create the app for helping to identify the shark egg cases along the coast. So that'll be deployed with their citizen scientists, as they call them, as well as potentially with school children. They're engaged with a number of local schools to help increase awareness and education. Again, it's another one that's going on for a number of years and has scope for future work, should they be impressed. So again, the proposal document, original one's there, email address is in there, and the same for Enrico. So the content information is there, it's available. Oh, I skipped a bit there. Yeah, highlighted in bold. Just to get out of the way, only one member of each group should contact the client, because I don't want people just sending emails at any time of day or night. I recommend probably whoever's looking after project management on the whole, just take that lead and don't contact them until we've handed over to you. It's basically what we can do. We'll speak to them first this week, say that we're handing over to you guys, and then from there start communication, because they're super busy people anyway. Cool, so I've got a few more examples of training machines. Here are obviously the ones we spoke about already. Virtual Speech doing their soft skills based stuff, Make Real doing obviously the climbing app that we've got here. Body Swaps is similar to Virtual Speech. And we've got Immersify as well, which is Jack and Joe and what they do.
Yeah, there are tons of companies out here.
Yeah.
Out there. So
There are loads, yeah. So going to ask Jack and Joe, well, they're coming in a few weeks' time to talk a bit about how they do their onboarding in their apps, amongst other things. So we'll ask for we've got some copies of a couple of their apps that they use for training. We've got Spatial Awareness, the airplane one, and Lithography, which they've just released on the Pico store, which I think they were probably talking about the other day when they were in. So got copies of them. Right, Jen, we'll grab some. But I have found some more apps that you can try yourself, which could be useful. This is a free one on the App Lab or SideQuest for electrical safety training.
Accidents are due to behavioral issues.
Yeah, I won't watch the whole video, you can watch it.
Electrical equipment. Prevention of serious injuries from electrical hazards at their work sites.
So it can
Participants
give
will
you a
develop
bit
an
of
understanding.
information on how these guys have gone about what they're doing, given their guidelines. Again, you can get that through, you've got their main webpage, or you can get it through SideQuest for that, totally free. These guys, GVR Trading, they've actually got a big list of training apps that you can get access to for free on Steam. So the top one is $170, so don't click on that one. But electrical safety in VR training, maintenance safety, pipes and acid, VR health and safety, fire training, work at heights, hot working, confined space entry. Got loads of training apps there that you can try for free.
sorry, Sam.
Yeah.
Can you read that, or should I take the screen off?
I'm struggling a bit,
Let's take it off.
but very. Yes.
Just your eyes.
I believe so. 2020.
Yeah.
It's just this angle, is it?
Well, it's supposed to protect.
Yeah, so people don't punch the TV in VR. When they're playing.
Oh, right,
paper,
yeah.
right? You don't wanna put a fist through the blinds.
So I had a playthrough. Which one of them? I had a playthrough one of them today. And I think you're just locked off from certain bits. Looks like they've gone from like a full paid model to a subscription model, but they've got like a trial element where you can do the learning. So it might be worth just checking out a few of them, because actually they weren't. I mean, the first one I went to, they had like some workmen there in T-pose, not even in idle animation, and they're charging £200 for an app. So maybe they're example in a good way, or maybe an example in a bad way, but they're clearly making money anyway. Oh yeah, and it's worth mentioning that all of their guidelines on USA based, so any health and safety stuff and fire safety will be to US guidelines, not UK. And Explore VR, I include that one again from climate change because it will fit. There are some elements that fit pretty well with Project Shark on education in there, so just put that one back in again. And there's a 3D anatomy app which is pretty cool for free. You just got to get the trial mode, just follow the instructions on their website, select guests, and do something or other, that you can get free access to that and learn a bit of training on how they do their training in anatomy. Some useful reading stuff. So there is a paper based around that anatomy app, which I will just quickly look at for you. Let's hide that flow control. So there's a whole paper on VR as an alternative method for training in anatomy, which could be interesting, could be something to reference when you're doing your later paper on training theory for VR. And you can just download that straight from there if you like. I've got another study for the effectiveness of VR for soft skills training. So a quick look at that one again. Anyway. Again, just good for reference material. And you can download the whole study, well, either from their page or from the main page. And this was quite, ooh, so close.
Well,
Nearly scrolled down too far then. Oh. And then VR training, the guide to create your VR training solution. This is quite a good blog actually, but it's made by this company called Onyx, who create VR applications amongst other things. But it's really pretty in depth, and yeah, they've got some really good references in there, and really good examples. So I would check out, definitely, if you don't read anything else, just read through this blog post, because it's got some really key tips on making training apps and how effective they could be in the workplace or not. Also with other reference videos for different apps. So this app, I think they made for Walmart to train, train employees for Walmart. So there's really good stuff in that one. So definitely read through that. Oh, and a few statistics there. I think these are a bit off. There's one on price per day for VR devs. It's a bit outdated now. Where was it? Yeah, minimum hourly rate. You can definitely get more than, oh, hourly rate. Oh yeah, hourly rate.
You were saying daily.
Yeah, I thought that was daily rate when I read it earlier. I misread it earlier. Yeah. So look at that. Yeah.
Why is India like $25? It's like the lowest.
Well, yeah. And why are we half of America? 3 times less.
Yeah. I don't know, Drew. Maybe you've got to buck the
that's why
trend.
everyone goes to America.
Yeah, because in America they just outsource to India anyway, and they've got
Because in
to
America,
take their cut.
if you need to call an ambulance, it costs you £5,000. Okay.
Building an MVP version of a VR training app with little design work may require approximately 100 hours. Development of a simple VR training system. So there's all kinds of really interesting statistics. I mean, they aren't referenced, but this is based on their experience in their business. 8 to 12 weeks for development. Yeah. Approximate cost for an app, $15,000. Complex app, $150,000. So, you know, interesting stuff. Read through it. Definitely do that.
Yep.
Now, on to the bit that everyone's interested in, the groups. So, team.
Hang on a sec.
Oh,
So just want to say your instincts were correct. There are going to be 2 teams. Okay. We have chosen teams based on who you've worked with in the past. Try and mix that up a bit, and try and balance the teams in reflection of your individual skills. So 2 teams of 5, yeah, means that, well, it's probably the biggest, yeah, it's the biggest group you've been in. So you're going to have to be really on it in terms of your kits and organizing that. So I might talk about it later, but you know, we saw too many people in the last one who, you know, despite us trying to say many times, sort that out straight away, people had not sorted that out immediately. So, you know, I'm getting distracted there, but sort you get out, and we've already kind of pre-set which project is going on which team. That's why the first team is called Team Chem. So without further ado, Seb, you can have the honors.
I think this could also be known as Team Breaking Bad, just for
Yeah.
because I like that. So we've got Karthik, who's absent. Manu's here. Manu and Karthik. Benny, James, and Lawrence. Team Chemical Engineer.
So that kind of means you know who's on the
Yeah, and then you know who's on the other team, don't you? So Team Baby Shark. Drew, Luke, Caitlin, Andrew, and Anthony. So those are the 2 groups.
Who was the closest? Did anyone get it right?
No. You're right, Luke. On that one. I think Luke's one.
I think I might have.
It's because he messaged me last night at 10 o'clock and asked me.
I asked how many teams there were.
No, I said Luke did.
Yeah. Oh, Luke did.
I answered Luke. I didn't answer you.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the groups. Now, the reason that we've done bigger groups is because we really, like, I'll say it again, we're in the middle, so I'm going to re-emphasize what I said at the start. Really need to be excellent projects. Yeah, and that's why we've done this. There shouldn't be any people doubling up on work. It should be much easier to spread work. You could probably have 2 people who are developing per group, 1 person on graphics, 1 person project managing website, video, but that person should also still be in Unity. You know, if you're doing that other stuff that isn't directly involved in Unity, you should still be doing something in Unity.
Yeah,
everyone should be in Unity,
contributing to every aspect.
Yeah.
And it's basically everything you've done so far we're expecting to see in here.
Yeah.
So, you know, NPC characters, different interactions, all the lighting and sound stuff we've done, the data collection, potentially we want to see all of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. So many of these expectations are going to be the same as what we've had before. Some have changed. So obviously set your team up right away, regular meetings on team, keeping minutes in your bucket, and including attendance in those as well. Set up your tasks as you're going. With the increased group size, it should be easier to divide up your roles with less double uploading, crossover. Obviously add me and Ted to your teams. And for this one, we want weekly meetings with you, either me or Ted or both, so that we can sort of see what's going on, make sure that everyone's keeping up. You've got no blockers like GitHub issues week 3, or you know, problems with locomotion systems or whatever. So we are here to support you as we have been all along. So please please make those meetings. Yeah, well, they'll be important. Set up your GitHub right away. Everyone should be on the GitHub right away for that.
And Microsoft Teams.
And your team, yeah.
Invite me and Seb to the GitHubs and the teams.
Regular descriptive commits. Obviously, we've learned a lot about merge conflicts in the last couple of projects. Keep this in mind. So before you do any work at the start, do a pull. If you go for lunch, do a push, do a commit. Do like 2 in a day. Yeah, so that will help keep any issues down to a minimum.
Just to remind you, you can use my template that's on GitHub. If you want to just skip a bit of setup of the project, that's still there. You can use that.
I haven't seen any of the readmes yet, but they were generally much better recently than in the first term. And the web pages, again, I haven't looked at that, the latest one, but
Yeah,
I
some
think-
people's weren't great for the Canvas submission. So I might point that out to people individually. But yeah, we're expecting it to be, you know, top notch. Like I said, I showed this video to everybody. So when we put out the call for projects, we just slapped this video together to show people what they're going to expect from this project. So yeah, you want a really nice video as part of it, which I ripped these from. Let's look here. You've probably seen all of these, to be honest. But what I'm trying to say is they're expecting good things. Good, so anyway.
no, thanks. And important thing, create a release on your GitHub as well. I think we kind of, well, definitely, I kind of stopped looking at that. But releases should be on your GitHub, just as part of marking. Building testing. So we are aiming for standalone Quest 2. That is what we expect, because these are going to be deployed within the uni, and we've got like 100 Quest 2s. So that'll be what the client probably wants. If that's not the case, obviously discuss with the client. If they want it built for something else, let us know, but I suspect it'll be Quest 2. Obviously regular builds, feedback from clients, friends and family, and record the responses. I would aim to be starting this at least halfway, if not in the last quarter. Get the client to experience what you're going through. You're going to have to be getting regular feedback from them to make sure that you're meeting what they want. Yeah, that's going to be really important.
Yeah, it's just going to be like a real project. You're going to have to basically find out what they want, find out how much you can do in that time, and try and manage the kind of in between what's actually going to be achievable. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Some people, you know, they're not going to be VR developers, so some people are going to have really low expectations of what you can make, and some other people will think you'll be able to make, you know, I don't know, think of a crazy app, but you know, something insane in just like a few weeks. So
yeah,
get on the same page as quickly as you can.
Yeah, definitely. These are all pretty much the same as Ted said. We want all the good stuff that we have been doing throughout. I would say target time of at least 5 minutes, but it will depend more on what the client has deemed to be appropriate and what they want to achieve, depending on their content, and obviously include elements in your report about future iterations. Further expectations. So for this app, some people have started doing this already. Some people haven't quite started, but we'll expect introductory onboarding for the app, explaining to the user how to use it, basically what you want from them and how to achieve success. So you basically assume that the person who's using the app has never used VR before. That's onboarding. So that'll be key, and we will expect that, and so will the client, because I don't think, as we said, I don't think many of them have used much VR themselves. So
Yeah, I think we haven't tested all the other apps from the last one properly, but Benny and Caitlin's app, you had that kind of onboarding thing at the start. And another thing I was going to say is, because this is supposed to be, like I said, the combination of everything. You can just take that stuff you've already made and put it in there. That's good. It's good practice to speed up development. And that's what you do in the real world. You keep reusing stuff over and over again. So
and then data recording. So for our grading, online data recording is a must. So I'll have to do another session on Airtable, which is fine. That's fine. However, it will likely not be required by the client. You should check that pretty quickly, because that will be an ethical consideration for your ethical application, what you do and how you hold that data safely, etc., etc. If they decide they don't want it, just make sure that it's not just so intertwined in your code that it breaks as soon as you try and take it out. Just be aware of that. So we're going to want at least 5 interactions in there, which might sound a lot, but I'm thinking, a menu interaction is one, picking something up is another, a sound effect occurring when you bump into a wall or a fish.
Yep.
You drop the shark.
Yeah. When you drop the shark egg or whatever. Yeah. So at least 5, they have to work, they have to work properly. So, and I'm expecting at least 1 advanced feature. So maybe something we haven't covered yet that we can. So I was thinking hand tracking might be good, but it depends on if it's a good fit. Voice recognition or commands, maybe having an AI assistant. But the key is to not force it as an add-on. So something that may fit naturally, maybe do a bit of research and try and find something that we haven't covered that you think might work really well. Anything that we can do to get that extra really unique thing in there. Ethics and risk assessment. So here's the new link for what you have to do for that. Create a project here, fill it in. So they didn't update their own page on what to do about that. So sorry about that, but we didn't know. And obviously add me and Ted to any submission, or stick our email addresses in it. So we'll need a teaching plan to be completed with this one. For your learning objectives, your assessment criteria, we'll cover that more probably next week now, about doing teaching plans, because we've still got other learning stuff to do today. But that will be part of your written document, and it will also help form sort of the structure of your app as well, the information you're trying to get across and how you're going to monitor the absorption of that knowledge. The theory document, so a teaching or a training theory document, much like the empathy one. 1 per project, and then 1 for your role. 1 submission for the group, so 1 person take control of that with the theory document, and then 1 person and then each person do their individual. And the deadline for this one is the 12th of May. So we've already given the extension. The extension is already applied. There is no more after that. That is the end, the last permissible date that we can have something handed in. Yes, Andrew.
What are the rules for this one?
Roles.
The
They'll probably be similar to what the other ones were.
Yeah.
But TBA.
Well, because they were different.
Okay, well, yeah, still TBA.
Yeah.
There is 1 key change. For this
Yeah.
one.
So yeah, just to reiterate, that is the final date, because that's when the invigilator comes. Now this is the big change. Marking. This project is valued at 50% over the whole term. A percentage of this mark will be determined by your peers based on your engagement and contribution, full details of which will be confirmed when we release the main rubric, probably early next week, because we need to amend it because of this.
Yeah, this is something that we didn't really do much in the last couple of years. just because we had kind of smaller groups. Now we've got big groups with 5. I think it would just be a bit more fair if there's a bit of peer review in it as well. But we'll get back to you on when that comes out.
Yeah, Pete recommended it.
And Patricia, yeah.
And Patricia, yeah, sorry. Yeah. So the actual percentage of the grades and like how that works, still figuring out. That's why we've not done the rubric, complete the rubric for it. So we're dealing with that with them.
But you don't really need that for now. I mean, you know
No.
what the deal is with these assignments now, so you know what we're kind of expecting.
Yeah. So any early questions on that one? Nope. Basically, the only thing you have to do this week, get your team set up, get your GitHub set up. Basic.
Yeah.
Use good advice, but use Ted's template project. It's already set up for URP.
Yeah, it's all set, ready to go.
Yeah, it's also where's
I know I was kept going on then about how good we're expecting it to be, but I want you guys to think of this as a really positive opportunity because, well, the chemical engineer one, in my head, it's at the moment it's similar to the learn lithography one, in the kind of stuff you'll be doing. If you gotta go, James, so that's fine. But I think it's a positive thing because they're desperate for people to use these apps and they're going to promote these apps. Like, I don't know if you've seen the uni have been promoting this app. And like you said, these apps could just be the beginning of something and we could go on and on. We had, I think it must be around 15 now proposals coming to us.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, some of them didn't come in really in time for this module, so we've got another couple of meetings later on this week. But some of these projects, the departments actually have money to spend. Yeah, so I guess beyond the end of the masters, there still might be opportunities around for kind of work like this. So yeah, I think it's a really kind of exciting time. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's that. That's the project. That's the. Say that, James. Oh, okay. That's going to be sort of your focus for the next 8 weeks or so. Cool. So check through that at your leisure. As I said, check out some of the links. Maybe check out some of these new apps that we hadn't looked at already. Definitely these VR training ones are pretty good. You just get them on Steam. So free is good. And yeah, when we hear more from Enrico and Ping, we will update each team appropriately. So the sooner you create your teams and add us, the sooner we can give you more information.
The first group to start like probably get more marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just going to be giving out marks
Yeah.
like crazy. However,
Yeah.
we feel it's
So are we Baby Shark or Team Shark?
Maybe.
We team Baby Shark, because that's what it is. It's Baby Shark.
If I don't like the name, I'm going to take marks away.
Alright, Team Shark.
Really great shots.
Should I keep this? I can keep this one public, right? Because we won't. be-
Yeah.
Okay, should we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's have whoever's in your group that's in this room. Let's do 20 minutes now. Set up your team. Set up a GitHub. Let's
Keep it private for now.
yeah, we'll just set it up.
Just
Yeah.
invite everyone you need to.
We'll wait 20 minutes to start the other presentation. So yeah, let's do that now.
That'd be a cool Easter egg. At the end.
No, it's done. I mean, every experience. That's one mark.
Yeah.
Is this already?
Quest template, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so
This one. Here. Black and white.
Yeah, for this one, I would probably download the zip and then re-upload that as your new project.
You might be-